We are ready for you. So hereby today we have our very talented speaker with us here, who is no other person but Miss Humaira Adamusede. Please, Miss Humaira, what do you have for us today?
Good evening, guys. I hope you all are doing well. Well, I don't really have much, but I'll be enlightening you on introduction to cybersecurity and maybe touch some little places.
Okay, Ma, we are listening.
Okay.
Oh, please, can you all hear her, please? Like,
yeah, clearly.
Partially, but yeah.
Okay, this is the table of contents. Have cybersecurity, am I safe then? Way forward, I be the wine me boss. Shall we find out? Let's keep on rolling. So cybersecurity here. Cybersecurity is the practice of defending computers, servers, mobile devices, electronic systems, networks, and data from malicious attacks. And what do we mean by malicious attacks here? Malicious attacks, it means suspicious attacks, attacks that can cause harm to a device, network, or system. It's also known as information technology security or electronic information security. So sorry, please, can you mute your microphone? Can you all hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, so cybersecurity is the practice of defending computers, servers, mobile devices, electronic systems, networks, and data from malicious attacks. And what do we mean by malicious attacks here? We mean suspicious attacks, attacks that can cause harm to a system, destroy the system, or maybe crash it. It's also known as information technology security or electronic information security. So anywhere you see any of these terms, don't get confused. It's also cybersecurity. The term applies in a variety of contexts, from business to mobile computing, and can be divided into a few common categories. So I'll be sharing this slide. So if you want to read more, you can tap on this link down here. You see this illustration here, it said, okay, so am I completely safe? This illustration here said, trust me, we aren't listening to your calls. You should call your mom more often though. So you see, it's trying to explain the parts of MITM, that's man in the middle. That's between the sender and receiver. There's always like someone in the middle of that conversation or transmission of message. So with the remote activities going on in the internet today, one cannot say they are completely safe in the cyberspace, even in the world at large. Malicious activities circulating the cyberspace every second, the choice of password by the user, and so on. What users mostly make mistake about is choice of password. Whenever you are choosing a password for a site or maybe an important information, you have to choose a very strong password, not just go and choose, maybe you just say, okay, I can use my date of birth, I can use my year of birth, I can just use my name, my mother's name, my dog's name, or anything. It's very, very risky because hackers can make use of that and get access to your data. So whenever you are creating a password for yourself, you have to make a mixture of uppercase and lowercase alphabets and also numbers to make that password very strong. And if maybe you think, okay, if I create this kind of password, I may forget, then you just download password manager, or maybe look for somewhere very safe that you can write it down, and whenever you need to have access to it, you can go there. Areas of cybersecurity. You can see this picture here. If I want to keep on talking about all the areas in cybersecurity, you may spend all day just talking about them, but I'll explain a few from here. So we have penetration testing. Penetration testing is also known as ethical hacking. It's a process of gaining authorized access to a system with authorized access, that's with the permission of the users, to protect the system from any malicious attack. So we have incident response and forensic analysis. And what we mean by incident response, whenever a cyber crime occurs, there's always this team, or not necessarily a team, maybe a person that investigates that crime, when it happened, how did it happen, and who did that, who performed that crime. So application security, that's the study of how to protect your apps from vulnerabilities and attacks of virus, trojans, and so on. Data loss prevention, the study of protecting your data from disappearing whenever you want to use it. So these are some concepts in cybersecurity. You can see this picture here. So I'll start with encryption. It is the process of scrambling a message in a specialized cryptographic algorithm. And what do we mean by scrambling? Let me just use layman English, like twisting that message so that nobody can understand it other than you and the receiver. And there are different processes of doing that. But mostly we use the cryptograph, that is Caesar cipher, that is I+3 algorithm. That's you pick a letter from, we have A to Z. You pick any letter that you want. Let's say, for example, you have hello. Said, okay, I will change this H to the next 3 letters after H. That, and I will send the key to my receiver that only he can understand, so that nobody can snoop on us. So this boy here now is trying to showcase to his dad that, okay, he knows encryption so well. So his dad said, come on, report card. He said, not gonna happen, dad, it's encrypted. That means no matter how the dad reads it, he can never understand the concept unless his son tells him the key to that message. So digital forensics, it is the branch of forensic science that uses scientific knowledge for collecting, analyzing, documenting, and presenting digital evidence in the courts of law. A digital forensic investigator is someone that investigates whenever a crime occurs, a cyber crime occurs. He investigates when it happened, who did it, and what caused that to happen in that system, and then gathers that information and and that information must be confidential. It must possess integrity and must be available whenever the court of law needs it. So this lady here is saying that I'm a forensic psychologist. I went on a date, and for fun, I analyzed him because I was so spot on. He got scared and walked out. Wow, I'm single forever. So like, she's already used to that occupation, that maybe she just saw the guy, she went for a date, she just focused on him and was analyzing everything. And the mistake she made was that she told him. So now the guy left because who is this guy? What is this person doing like this? God, I'm so scared. And then he left. So cryptography is the study of secure techniques that allows only the sender and intended recipients of a message to view its contents. So only the sender and the receiver can have access to that information. Other than that, no any other person. So as you can see this illustration above, Bob sent hello to Alice, but instead of sending it as the plain text, he sent it in a ciphertext form. Ciphertext, that is an encrypted form of a message. So he chose the key. You can see the way I explained earlier on. The key is this. So he told Alice the secret key. Then Alice was able to decrypt that message and found out that it was hello Alice. So if there is a middleman in between the transmission of these messages, he can never know what it actually is. Can never know what it actually is. So hacking, okay, this is it. This is just a short video of a hacker doing his work. You can see how busy a hacker is always focused on the system and all. So you see. So let's move to the next slide. Hacking and types of hackers. So hacking is the activity of identifying weaknesses in a computer system. Weaknesses, you can also call it vulnerabilities in a computer system or network to exploit the security to gain access to personal data or business data. Most people, they hack into a system maybe to get maybe their personal gain or business data, maybe your enemy or your rival. Both companies are trying to steal data from the other company so as to know their secrets and excel more than them. So the types of hackers are ethical hackers. That's the white hat hacker. A security hacker who gains access to systems with a view to identify weaknesses. They may also perform penetration testing and vulnerability assessment. And what we mean by penetration testing, authorized access to hack into that user's system to correct any wrong that is there. And then vulnerability assessment to check, okay, let's say, take for example, a website. Okay, I would check, okay, what's the weakness that this website possess? And let me try to, inform this company, try to arrange this and that so that you can be able to, let's say, for example, a carpenter right now, he created a chair. So maybe a pastor will be like, no, I think you should apply or you should hit more nails on the, should I say, the leg of the chair so that it will be more like strong, so as for the user should not one day stumble over or fall from the chair. So the gray hat hacker, a hacker who is in between ethical and black hat hackers. He or she breaks into a system without authority. So he or she is not authorized to have access into that system. He just did it on his own accord in order to view weaknesses and reveal them to the system owner. So you just, I want to feel myself a little bit. So let me just hack into this system, then reveal the weaknesses of that system or maybe website or anything and tell the owner, and he or she may gain something from it. Then a cracker, that is a black hat hacker, is a hacker who gains unauthorized access to computer system for personal gain. Maybe he wants to get money from that organization or from that person. The intent is usually to steal corporate data, violate privacy rights, transfer funds from bank accounts. A black hat hacker, let's take for example, someone calls you and said, hello, I'm from your bank, this and that. So that is actually one of the jobs of a black hat hacker. And also Yahoo guys too. They are black hat hackers also. So teams in security. Let's say you want to venture into cybersecurity now, and okay, you're thinking, okay, there are so many fields that I don't even know which one to choose. Should I go for the red team? Should I go for the blue team or the purple team? Purple teams are not really popular. It's mostly the red and the blue team. The red teams are the attackers and the blue team are the defenders. So the tasks of a red team member is ethical hacking, penetration testing, black box testing, social engineering. I think I'll explain that later on. Web app scanning, vulnerability exploitation. Then the purple team, improvement facilitation, data analytics, gap analysis, red versus blue skill testing. So a purple team member must possess the attributes of a red and a blue team member. Then system improvement, collaborative security. Then, like I said earlier, the blue team is the defender. Tasks include infrastructure security, damage control, incident response, operational security, threat hunting, and then digital forensic. Threat hunting, that's threat hunting to search in the system whether there's a threat that is trying to attack that device. Then we have the CIA triad. It's a fundamental cybersecurity model that acts as a foundation in the development of security policies designed to protect data. The three letters in CIA triad stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And what do we mean for a data to be confidential? That means only authorized users have access to data within that system. If you are not given the permission to have access to that data, you cannot have access to it. Then the second tenet of integrity impacts the necessity of trustworthiness and veracity of data. That means that data that you're trying to present, it must be genuine. If it isn't genuine and it's tampered with, that means it does not obey this rule of cybersecurity. Then availability dictates that data must be accessible where and when users need it. That means whenever the user calls you or messages you, that sends message to you that, okay, well, I need to access this data or I need to see this data, it must be available at any time. So where does the CIA triad fit into cybersecurity? Effective protection of digital assets begins with the principles of the CIA triad. All three tenets are necessary for data protection, and a security incident for one can cause issues for another. So without one, another cannot be complete. So they are working hand in hand. It's just like a knot. Once you lose it, you have to tie it back. Once you don't tie it back, there will be a problem. The CIA triad forces system designers and security experts to consider all three principles when developing a security program to protect against modern data loss from cyber threats, human error, natural disasters, and other potential threats. So that availability, when creating a data, you must make sure you back it up or save it so that no matter the circumstance, you can always have access to it. So putting confidentiality into practice. Data encryption is one way to ensure confidentiality and that unauthorized users cannot retrieve data from which they do not have access. So when creating that data, you must make sure that you encrypt that data so that even if an unauthorized person is trying to have access to it, he or she cannot understand the message that is there unless maybe he finds out the key. And it's very, very hard for him to find out the key unless maybe you tell him, because it's only you, the sender, and also the receiver that can know about it. Then putting integrity into practice. Event log management within a security incident and event management system is crucial for practicing data integrity. That means whenever you are creating that data, you must put it into writing. Okay, today I did this. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. Let's take, for example, okay, on Try Hack Me, for example, it's a site for learning how to hack. On Try Hack Me, you are trying to play a challenge. So maybe there are some questions under that challenge. Then you say, okay, today I'll answer this. Tomorrow I'll answer that. Today, okay, for example, I will list what is inside that file. Tomorrow, I may use Nmap. Next tomorrow, I will listen to that file. Then putting availability into practice. Employing a backup system and a disaster recovery plan is essential for maintaining data availability should a disaster, cyber attack, or another threat disrupt operations. So that in case of any issue at all, you know that, okay, I can still go back to this data. So attacks, concepts, and the techniques. A virus is a malicious executable code that is attached to other executable files, often legitimate programs. Most viruses require end-user activation and can activate at a specific time or date. Viruses can be harmless and simply display a picture, or they can be destructive, such as those that modify or delete. So once a virus has access to your system or device, it may be harmful, it may not be harmful, but it's better to get rid of it for it not to cause havoc. Because once it starts causing havoc into your device, you may lose some important data, files, and many more. The Trojan horse. A Trojan horse is a malware that carries out malicious operations under the guise of a desired operation. Like the way they say, we're the disguise. That means he's actually like this, but he's trying to hide the way he is or the way she is. This malicious code exploits the privileges of the user that runs it. Often, Trojans are found in image files, audio files, or games, or even an application, or even come as maybe a link. It comes at this, but it's not actually that. That's what it's trying to. That's actually what a Trojan horse is. You can see this picture above. He was trying to download something, but he never knew that he's actually downloading a Trojan horse into his system. Worms are malicious code that replicates themselves by independently exploiting vulnerabilities in networks. Like they multiply in that device. Worms usually slow down networks. So whenever you are trying to perform an activity on your device, you notice that, oh God, this is just so slow. Why is this so slow? It may be a worm that must have attacked your device. Whereas a virus requires a host program to run. Worms can run by themselves. They don't require any help from anywhere. Other than the initial infection, they no longer require user participation. After a host is infected, the worm is able to spread very quickly over the network. So now we are at social engineering said in the illustration above said, thanks, Mr. Bieber. So you were born on March 1st, 1999. Him is just answering like, okay, this one he's just asking now. I think maybe he's just trying to like make up a conversation, not knowing that he's trying to gather up his data and then have access to him. And you said yes. He was like, wow, that was not long ago. Do you remember your first pet's name? Another one. That was the mistake I was trying to say. No one, like, we should try to avoid, no matter what. Whenever you're making a choice of a password, you don't have to use your name, your date of birth, or your pet's name, because hackers can easily have access by that. So your mom, that's nice. What was her maiden name again? Mallet. He doesn't know the name, but he's trying to like disguise. Okay, I know this name. Let me just try to say, it's like I know. Let me just disguise that I know his mother, and then once say, the boy, why is he asking of my mother's name? Then he has gathered all this information. So once he has access into that user's device, you just tap in, okay, I forgot my password. And once I tap in on I forgot my password, said, okay, please answer the following security questions to confirm. And the security question that the user actually saved in the system was his date of birth, his mother's name, and his first name. And that was all. The hacker has gotten access. So social engineering is the manipulation of individual into performing actions or divulging confidential information. So they are divided into three parts. That's pretexting. An attacker calls an individual and lies to them in an attempt to gain access to privileged data. Let's take, for example, someone calls you and said, hello, I'm calling from your bank, and there's an issue with your account. I need you to tell me the last 6 digits on your ATM card, or the last 4 digits on your ATM card, or even the PIN to your ATM card. You see, your bank can never call you. They'll only send you an email or send you a text message to come to the bank. So making that mistake will just allow your money to disappear. Then tailgating, an attacker quickly follows an authorized person into a secure location. They attack him, maybe kidnap him or her. And then, okay, you must give me so and so information. If not, I'll do so and so to you. Then we have something for something, quid pro quo. That's trade by barter. Let me use that word, trade by barter. Okay, I give you this, you give me that. An attacker requests personal information from a party in exchange for something. Okay, if you give me this, you're going to get this. That's how it goes. So Yahoo guys mostly make use of social engineering. Okay, they call this person. Especially now, you they fall for all these things. Because Nigerians hardly fall for this, although they do fall for it. But Igbo man are based on, okay, I just want to be your friend. And then you keep on lying, and then say, I don't know. But I don't know how they used to think. But once they fall for that, they'll now start sending money to them or something else. I have key information security concept. We have access. A subject of object, ability to use, manipulate, modify, or affect another subject or object. We have exploit, a technique used to compromise a system. Threats, the danger to an information asset, a weakness or fault in a system or protection mechanism. I'll share the slide so you can read through it. So cybercrime, then these are Odogu. Our best social engineer and Yahoo guy. I've Hush Puppy, seen flooding his designers and his fine cars. So cybercrime is a crime that involves a computer and a network. The computer may have been used in commission of a crime, or it may be the target. Cybercrime may harm someone's security and financial health. So once a cybercrime is conducted on an entity, organization, or person, it tends to cause damage to that person. Then classifications: with traditional crime reducing, global communities continue to witness a sporadic growth in cybercrime. Computer crime encompasses a broad range of activities, from financial crimes to scams, through cyber sex, trafficking, and ad frauds. A computer fraud is any dishonest misrepresentation of fact intended to let another to do or refrain from doing something which causes loss. So whenever a computer fraud is conducted, it causes harm. Other forms of fraud may be facilitated using computer systems, including bank fraud, carding, identity theft, extortion, theft of classified information, and may result to private. So thank you for listening to me today. And let me check the chat and answer any question. You can send in your questions if there's any. Thank you for sparing out time from your busy life to listen to this lecture, and I hope you learned a lot from it. Okay, Porn Star said, my questions are as follows. Why are Yahoo boys hackers? They are hackers because they gain access to an information, and they are also unauthorized, so they can. Okay, Kela, sorry, please let me answer Porn Star. I'll answer you, Kela. Say, at what point I think you're trying to say, at what point can someone start as a penetration tester? You can start by opening an account with Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, Pentastar Lab. There are many sites that you can start as a beginner, but personally, I think I did recommend Try Hack Me so that it's more like explainable. Let me just use that word. So is social engineering a core skill to get started with cybersecurity? Yes. You have to be able to speak, but not necessarily a core skill per se. I won't agree with that, because there are various fields in cybersecurity. So you can maybe choose any part you want to venture on. So you must not necessarily speak with the public before you can. How do you hack into a system when you don't even know where to go on your system? I think the first part you should start learning before hacking into a system is to know the basics. You have to first know, okay, what does penetration testing mean? And hacking, I'm sure you mean ethical hacking. You must first know what penetration testing is, the basics. You must learn about Linux commands and how to use them before you can gain access to the system. You require the knowledge of coding to hack into any system. Yes, you do. When I become any practical encryption, yeah, I think yes, no, no practical, but I think I may be able to explain that to you, sir. When I become a Purple team member, what are those coding programs I need to know to make me an expert? I think There are many programming languages, as you know. There's Python, there's HTML, there's PHP, there's C, there's C++, there's JavaScript. But I think try to learn at least 2 to 3 programming languages if you can, so as to understand that. How can I encrypt a data? You encrypt it by changing that, changing it. You can also make use of cryptography. In cryptography, we have different, it's a mathematical method of encrypting the message. We have different methods. We have X box substitution, we have P box substitution, we have Caesar cipher, we have real friends, different methods. Any method that you think, okay, the sender and the receiver can understand, it is fine. So I think any other message, any other question, any practical on encryption, I think I'll do that if there's not much time, but had it been there is. But let me try to explain it. Maybe you can understand. You know, we have A to Z in the English alphabet. Let's take, for example, okay, I want to encrypt the word dad. I say, okay, dad said I+3 method, dad. Okay, I'll say, okay, you have E, F, then G as the third letter. So you change that D to G. The A, you go back to Z. You say, okay, Z, Y, X. Then D again. So I think that is all for today. Star, thanks so much, as speaker. Kindly drop your details. You want to perform social engineering to me? I should now drop my details here, and then that's all for my account. Thank you, sir. So thank you for listening. I think our host can maybe give us maybe a closing remark.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Humera, for the awesome presentation. And I hope you all learned one or two things in this meeting. Can you hear me?
Please, if you have any question, I think the host, can they
Any other
unmute
question,
their
please?
mic?
Yes, hello.
Yes,
Hello.
please. Yes, please.
Thanks for the presentation. But unfortunately, I just joined some 5 minutes ago. So
Okay,
I got the link late, or I saw it late. Is there like a way we can get a recorded this record?
Yes, actually the meeting is being recorded, sir. So I think
So how are we going to access
the link?
Good evening, sir. You can access it on our YouTube channel. We'll drop the link as soon as possible.
All right, thank you. That would be nice. Thank you so much.
So do anyone have question again, please? All right, then. Thank you so much, Ms. Mira. Have a wonderful day.
And you too. Thank you.